That's the time to go and see the bears and the bears catching the salmon and things like that. You don't really get to see that in the height of summer,
No.
and we were there, mid-June. We were probably just a little bit late.
Pike.
The Pike Place market where they throw fish around.
Yeah, absolutely stinks.
And the other thing about it is, right next door now, it's not the original place, but I think they moved it, didn't they? Because it was the birthplace of Starbucks.
It was good fun. It's a very surreal feeling being in a helicopter if you haven't done it, especially as you're literally going through glaciers. You're very close to the ground. There's things around you. You're not just in the clear air. Very surreal, but a really good experience. Just very good views from everywhere, really.
It wasn't. The highlight of, obviously, that trip was, I think there were two highlights, weren't there? To see the glacier from that perspective is really special. We got all Helly Hansened up, didn't we?
Yeah, we were in our bright yellow waterproof suits and off we went driving this electric Zodiac boat.
We did drive it. It was proper, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was cool because your tour guide's on his own boat, his or hers. Yeah. They take their own and you all follow in a group. So there's probably, I don't know, maybe there was 4 boats with us at the time. And they just took us on a journey of all the hotspots of where all the wildlife was that day.
Welcome to Now Boarding.
Oh, well, hello. Welcome to Now Boarding, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of travel, sharing real stories from the people and places that make holidays unforgettable. Now, I'm Phil, the CEO of the Travel Village Group, and what makes this podcast different? Well, we record every episode in just one take. So you get the laughter, the surprises, the unfiltered moments exactly as they happen. And my hope is that these stories inspire your next adventure. And when they do, the Travel Village Group team is ready to make it a reality. So let's get started. And you can stop looking at me like that. Today, this is great. I'm very privileged. Today's podcast is going to be all about Alaska and Princess Cruises, actually. And I'm doing this with my daughter, Jess, or as she's known to most people, Jess Mop. And we went there when did we go, Jess?
2013, when Phil asked me, where should we go on holiday this year? To which I knew Alaska was on Phil's bucket list. So I played a little bit on the heartstrings there and chose Alaska as the annual holiday.
You did, didn't you? It was supposed to be 3 of us that went to Alaska.
True.
But my son decided it would be a good idea to, not personally, but have a baby. So he unfortunately missed out. And he's never let us forget it. But we're going to talk to you. Me and Jess are going to talk to you about Alaska. Alaska, because it is, after all, Alaska is the last frontier. And it really feels that way. I mean, it's the biggest state in America, first of all. It has more coastline than all the others put together. Yeah. And every direction you look at, it is just beauty, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's nothing but glaciers, wildlife. There's just scenes every time you look off the cruise ship, to be honest. There's always something to...
It is. It was an unforgettable trip, like I say, that I had with my daughter, and Princess Cruises were fabulous. We sailed from Seattle, didn't we? We did. And before we joined the cruise, we had a couple of nights in Seattle. And we had a bit of a guilty pleasure and stayed at the Inn at the Market.
Yeah.
Which was really nice.
Really good location.
Yeah, and that's the market there is really famous, isn't it? What they call the Pike. Yeah, the Pike Place market where they throw fish around.
Yeah, absolutely stinks.
And the other thing about it is, right next door now, it's not the original place, but I think they moved it, didn't they? Because it was the birthplace of Starbucks. So Seattle is 1971.
Yeah, every turn there's literally a Starbucks in every corner. You can't get away from it.
No, it's a bit like I've just been to Grasmere in the Lake District, and everybody's queuing up to get in the gingerbread shop. And it's a scene in Seattle where the original Starbucks was. Everybody's queuing for miles to get in. But we had a great time. We went to the is it the Space Needle in Seattle?
Yeah, we're at the top of the Space Needle. Lots of sights you can see from there. We took a cheesy photo at the top.
We did do a cheesy photo. I would highly recommend doing it. I mean, the views are fantastic. You get a nice clear day. You've got to go up to the Space Needle. So, listen, let's get right into it. We went there for one reason, went there to go to Alaska. We wanted to see what it was all about, all the nature, all the views, everything else. Embarked in Seattle, as we just said. Really good. And basically, it is the Pacific Northwest. And it's perfect for starting a cruise. We didn't have to do any of the other stuff going into Canada or anything like that. We set off, and basically, did we have a day at sea? We went straight into Juneau, didn't we?
Straight into Juneau, as far as I remember.
Straight into Juneau. And what we did was the helicopters and huskies.
Yeah. What a way to start the holiday. Helicopter over the glaciers to visit where the huskies are.
You see, I've always felt the helicopter thing was, we were a little bit nervous, weren't we? Because I've got to think about, helicopters. And, but they made you feel at ease.
Mm-hmm.
Because they understood it was a big thing for everybody. But the journey from the base up to the glacier was just stunning, wasn't it? And everybody got the opportunity to sit in the helicopter at the front.
Yeah, they did.
So if you were on the front on the way out, then you didn't sit in the front on the way back. And everybody got that fabulous experience. I think we had the best of it, didn't we?
Yeah.
In the front on the way out.
Yeah, it was good fun. It's a very surreal feeling being in a helicopter if you haven't done it, especially as you're literally going through glaciers. You're very close to the ground. There's things around you. You're not just in the clear air. Very surreal, but a really good experience. Just very good views from everywhere, really.
It wasn't. The highlight of, obviously, that trip was, I think there were two highlights, weren't there? To see the glacier from that perspective is really special. It's not a cheap excursion. Alaska is a bucket list holiday when all's said and done. But if you get the opportunity to fly up there and see the glaciers, you really need to do it. But once you're down, really, you've landed on the snow and the ice.
Yeah.
There's that smell of the husky dogs.
Yeah, you can't get away from the smell of the husky dogs.
They can't.
They live and breed husky dogs out there. That's what they do.
Yeah, and you get a really interesting conversation with them, and they talk to you about them, and you get to meet them as well.
Yeah.
I got a lovely picture of you sat there stroking the husky dog, and then went on a sled ride, didn't we?
Yeah, they do. They then take you on a little sled ride.
Bombing off. I'll never forget your face.
It's good fun, though. It's really good fun.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And what they do up there is brilliant, and it just I think it just sums up everything about Alaska. I know it's like one of the first stops that we did, but glaciers, husky dogs, it's what people really want to.
Yeah, that's what you go to Alaska for.
Yeah, apart from the bears. We'll come on to that later. Come on to that. Times of the year, aren't there? That sort of thing. And what else we do? We went to Skagway. So, and when we got there, all these towns, aren't they? They're like, you can imagine it, can't you, back in your day when there were the gold diggers were there.
Yeah.
And these towns, they're just, you step off and you can just picture yourself when you're going back in time.
They do feel very back in town, oldie worldy, a lot of like huts. Don't know, they're very old fashioned.
Saloons.
Yeah, and they all sell like the Alaskan wool and whatever else they wear and the boots.
Yeah.
All the tools that they use when they're out and about on the glaciers, you can buy all of it.
Yeah.
Don't know if you get it home again, but you can buy it.
Yeah, but they're just like wooden boardwalks, aren't they? And it's everything is just all like creaky, just as you'd imagine it to be. We had some bikes, and there's trails you can do, that take you around. And one of the famous ones is the old White Trail, which is where people used to trudge, towards the Klondike, hoping to strike gold. We didn't get a chance to do any of that, did we? We never got a chance to do panning.
No, we didn't do any panning while we were out there, actually. We didn't go searching for gold.
No.
We'd have a nice bike ride.
Yeah, but we did it in the summer, didn't we? And the weather was fantastic, apart from one day at sea.
Mm-hmm.
But we did it in the summer, and you can just imagine, certainly in the winter months or, early or late season, these people who were out there having to work. I mean, trying to find the gold to make a living. It must have been a little bit grim at times. You know what I mean? But it's also so quiet. when you get out and about away from the towns, it's that you can just hear a pin drop.
Yeah. You're not in the hustle and bustle when.
No, it is really, really special because there are a lot of the places you can only reach by boat, can't you? You know. One of the things that we found in the evenings after we'd had a day out, it's good to talk about this. You don't go to Alaska for Broadway musicals.
No, absolutely. I think everybody on board was in bed by latest 11 p.m. That was pushing it.
I was pushing it.
I think by 9:30, to be honest, at dinner and they gone to bed. However, everybody was up really early in the morning. So at dawn, maybe not quite sunrise because in June that's very early in the day, but at dawn, you're up there, you're on deck, and everybody's watching the ship sail through the glaciers into different bays. The just whale watching and all the rest of it. They do have specialists on board which will come over the tannoy and they'll tell you where you can see the whales, what wildlife's around in that moment, and that's when everybody's springing out of bed. They're on the balconies, they're walking around the ship trying to get the best view of what they've told you they can see at the time.
We had a few moments, didn't we?
Yeah.
Shouting from the balcony, looking at what we could. What's that, Dad?
Yeah, there was a lot to see. I mean, one of my favourite parts was, and we were fortunate enough to have a balcony, and if you're going to go and do Alaska, I would recommend it because I was sat there in the morning and I physically take my duvet off my bed and sit on the balcony with my duvet, my cup of tea, and you are watching whales all the time, like you're literally sailing through, and there's just whale after whale after whale, amongst other wildlife if you're close enough to the shore at the time. But 100% is worth upgrading to that balcony.
Yeah,
that's not just a sales point. That is literally, I would recommend everybody had a good view of what they were sailing through.
Absolutely. And like I said, just come back to that point, this is why people go to Alaska. You know, the entertainment in the evenings is very toned down.
Yeah.
You know, you go on a princess cruise in the Mediterranean or the Caribbean, and it's like full on party time. Woo-hoo. Yeah. You know, at night time, do what you want. It's fantastic. It is absolutely, not that in Alaska because people are out and about, up early, out and about, and hitting the road during the day.
It's doing lectures and presentations, and like I say, key speakers on board.
It is. And we went to Ketchikan. Now, what we're describing to you is the most popular journey that people do, which is called the Inside Passage. All right. So that is the journey that takes you through to Juneau, Skagway, the Glacier Bay, days cruising, Ketchikan, also where you did to Victoria and British Columbia. But what we're describing to you is the places that we visited on that standard 7-day Inside Passage Alaskan cruise. Ketchikan, right? They would call it the salmon capital of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just, Ketchikan is surrounded by pure wilderness. I don't think you can get there by road, if I remember rightly. But we took a rib boat out, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Just the two of us. But there was a group.
Yeah, there's a group, but you all get given
your own boat.
Yeah, I think it can sit 4 passengers potentially, but there was just the two of us on ours.
We got all Helly Hansened up, didn't we?
Yeah, we were in our bright yellow waterproof suits, and off we went driving this electric Zodiac boat.
We did drive it. It was proper, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was cool because your tour guide's on his own boat, his or hers. Yeah. They take their own, and you all follow in a group. So there's probably, I don't know, maybe there was 4 boats with us at the time, and they just took us on a journey of all the hot spots of where all the wildlife was that day.
One of the things that they did for us, what they do is they have a what's it called at the back, like I don't know, what do you call them? A freezer, cool bag.
Yeah, they have a cool bag.
Yeah, where they have fish. Mm-hmm. And then they'll spot the bald eagles up on the nests. And what they'll do is they'll then throw a fish into the water, maybe, 10, 20 metres in front of the boat, where you're all, just bobbing around in the bay. And then the next thing, this eagle will, the wings are spread. It is absolutely stunning, isn't it? Down it comes, full circle. And then the talons come out as it hits the water, grabs the fish with its talons, and then takes it back up to the nest.
It's real life David Attenborough stuff.
Oh yeah,
on TV.
His box office, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's absolutely fantastic. I've got a video of it, and maybe we can show that.
Find it.
Yeah, we'll find a video and show it. But It was brilliant, and it's just a great way to get out and see. Again, this is an excursion. If you go in there, the rib boat excursion is one you would have to book really quickly because it is extremely popular. And I would probably say, out of all the excursions we did, it was probably the one I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, 100%. You're up close and personal. I mean, they take you to spots where you'll potentially see seals chilling out on different areas. They'll try and take you to popular areas where they know that the whales tend to be. So they know the stuff. They talk to people in the local area. They know where they are that day. So they go on a mission to take you as close to the wildlife as possible without interrupting your wildlife.
They do, don't they? So we'd done, most of the excursions.
Yeah.
And one of the days, we had a day at sea, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which was where we were cruising through Glacier Bay. And that was the day where, did it rain that?
No.
That's not what they rained it.
Everybody challenged me to wear a swimwear in Alaska because you go to Alaska,
Oh, yeah.
just expect cold. I was like, I guarantee I can put my bikini on in Alaska. So this day, the weather was actually okay. So we watched a film. So we did the whole, it's normally with Princess Cruises, it's like movies under the stars, but we watched a film in the middle of...
Did we watch, was it Les Miserables?
It was Les Miserables. I had my bikini on in Alaska.
In Alaska. But we did, this is the other thing, isn't it? This is when movies under the stars now, so many ships, but Princess were the pioneers of what they call movies under the stars. So we sat there with popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could, eat a little blanket if you wanted it. And you sit there and the movies are playing on these massive big screens. And we sat, cruising, through Glacier Bay, whatever, watching Les Miserables.
We did.
It was all right. It was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, good.
I loved it. I mean, the thing then is, it's so quiet again. It is absolutely quiet. You find a space on that ship when you're sailing through somewhere like Glacier Bay, and it is that, again, there is nothing else. Nothing else there. And people will take time. This is where you can actually learn about the places you're going to visit and learn about Alaska because, on those days, they have a lot of lecturers, don't they? People talking and explaining all about what it is, Alaska, and why you're there. Now then, looking back on it, what do you think? What was the most memorable part of Alaska that you did on that trip? What do you think it was?
The excursions are great. They do literally take you and you see Alaska as you would see it on the TV,
Yeah.
you see it on the pictures. But I've already referred to it once. For me, it was getting up in the morning and wrapping myself in that duvet and just sitting there with my cup of tea and watching the wildlife. Because that's what you did in the morning as you were sailing into different ports of call, or in the afternoon when you'd left one and you were sailing away. That was my highlight. That's what I like to do.
Smashing. Now, different times of the year we'll talk about. Because, when we were there, it was all about, to be honest with you, the birds, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And everything else, and the huskies. But actually, earlier season, so if you go down into times like May when the ice is melting, etc., then you've got all the bears. Yeah. That's the time to go and see the bears and the bears catching the salmon and things like that. You don't really get to see that in the height of summer, and we were there, mid-June. We were probably just a little bit late. I think, for the bears. But, that's the right time of the year. If you want to go see the bears, get yourself out there in early season, so May, first week in June, probably. After that, the most important thing, I think, for people to remember here is make sure you've got the right clothing as well if you're going out to Alaska. It is not a cruise where you're going to be dressing up in tuxedos and things like that. This is, make sure you've got warm, appropriate clothing. If you know the Lake District, it's prepare yourself as if you would if you were going to the Lake District. And actually, in many ways, it's not dissimilar to the clothes you take if you've been on a river cruise as well. I think very similar. Make sure you've got layers and all that sort of stuff. But we had the most fantastic time in Alaska. I would highly recommend it to anybody. Don't forget, while you're out there, what you can also do is you can also tag on things like the train journey. So you can take the what's it called?
Going to say the wrong word.
Go on.
There's the Rocky Mountain.
Rocky Mountain here. Why did I forget? having a senior or a dad moment.
Different ones. From Vancouver, you can get on a few different... So you can sail round trip from Vancouver. Some of them actually go Seattle to Vancouver, so you can get the best of both worlds. Stay in Seattle, get on board your ship, or vice versa. Have some time in Vancouver. Then there's land tours that you can tag on, particularly from Vancouver is a good place.
Yeah.
To do that.
Yeah, we did touch Victoria, but just going back to the train journey, I think that, you know, there's different types. There's the gold leaf, isn't there? And there's the blue. And for people who want to get the most out of it, then I think the gold leaf is probably the one you're going to do if you're going to do the you're going to do the train journey. But finally, we ended up in Victoria, didn't we? Perfect ending, beautiful part of the world, you know, in Canada. Really, really liked it. Very special. Lots of things like, it's very British, wasn't it? You know,
compare it to Britain more than I would other areas of Alaska.
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, this has been really good. Just to give you a recap of our experience of Alaska, we really had a great time. We really would recommend you getting out there and seeing it, and talk to the team about it. But it was a journey that we'll never forget, isn't it?
No, I will not ever forget going to Alaska. I'd go back.
Yeah, would you take the children back?
I would go back, yeah, and take the children.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a right or wrong age to do Alaska. While we're on that note, I think, 13 years ago-ish, what were we, 12 years ago, I would have been 20.
Yeah.
I probably was one of the youngest on board, especially with it not being summer holidays, etc.
I think you were.
Say that. I will have been the youngest person on board on the ship. However, if you are the kind of person and the type of family that like to be outdoors, you like the Lake District, maybe you've done the Norwegian fjords and you really enjoyed that, it is the right holiday for you.
I agree. Listen, we've enjoyed talking to you about Alaska. It's been fabulous. We highly recommend that you go there. And like I say, it is, to be honest with you, it is also a great holiday for like a multi-generational. So you've got grandparents, parents and grandchildren. You couldn't really pick a better, like a soft adventure where you can all go and do some of the most amazing things. Can you imagine? I mean, a family with the grandparents and going up in a helicopter and doing all that.
Well, I know my children would love it.
They would love it, wouldn't they? Yeah. So don't dismiss it. I think it's a great opportunity. So thank you. Thanks, Jess, for just coming in and sharing this with everybody.
No problem.
I really appreciate it. It's been great. Thank you for listening. Slightly shorter podcast today, but that's what it is. And I hope the stories that we've told you today has inspired you for your next adventure and actually to go and visit Alaska. It really is that last frontier. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Follow us on Instagram at NowBoardingTVG for all the behind-the-scenes content. And if today's chat has you dreaming of your next perfect adventure, then the experts here at Travel Buddies Group will help you turn this into reality. So thanks for listening. Hope we've inspired you to go to Alaska, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye now.